Welcome to another video by Indicator Vault. I'm Ronald, and in today's video, we're just going to break down some price action here with the US dollar, Canadian dollar pair. We're just going to stick on the daily time frame. I've got the Harmonic Pattern Pro, Logic Day Trading, and down here at the bottom, the Divergence Solution panel. And we're just going to go through, as we can see here, lots of harmonic patterns forming over all of this, price action here. I mean, numerous, 4 or 5 right back to back. And so we're going to use that and pairing the logic day trade indicator and divergent solution panel to just kind of interpret not necessarily entries, but just to validate the direction of the patterns. Going down into the lower time frames, such as the 4-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute, 5-minute even, are going to be great entry time frames. For this video, in the higher time frame, the daily, we're just going to use this to, see how these harmonic patterns play out and see how these other indicators can act as confirmation for the continued move. So I like, on the daily or 4-hour, the harmonic patterns or even wolf wave patterns. We'll get into one in a little bit later on a different pair to give me the direction of a higher time frame. So we see here this bullish butterfly forms right here. So as that forms, my bias is now bullish until at least the halfway point is taken out of this leg or this high is taken out. Ultimately, we like to see this high taken out as well, but we at least want to see this high, and then even in bearish patterns, this low, the most recent low of the pattern taken out. So once we see this bullish butterfly form, my bias is now bullish. And now, of course, on the lower time frames, like I said, there's probably some great entry techniques, especially on this wick here. And even on maybe the 1 hour, 15-minute, this wick was a break of structure. And then giving us the confirmation to take a trade down here. But here's something that may be of use and helpful for you if you want to use the logic day trading and the divergence solution panel together. When our direction is bullish, many times you will see a buy signal from the logic day trading in the lower half of the last leg here. And, many times you'll see it. I mean, for instance here, this next pattern, this bullish cipher, forms a buy one right as the pattern forms. So the end of the cipher pattern is inside of the buy zone. This doesn't quite happen here, but look what happens when I mark out where the MAs cross. Right as they cross here, we get a little bit of retracement. Then we see the buy pattern. So this one's a little, not super clean. In these other ones, it's a lot cleaner. But I just wanted to point out that that's, what you want to look for. Obviously this will mark out many different divergences, but using just the moving averages here can offer great insight if they are also correlating with a buy zone. So like I said, this one isn't super clean, but I wanted to go over it since this, since the bullish butterfly did show up on here. But let's go into the next one. We now have this bearish butterfly formed, right? Now, of course, we do see this high does get taken out here. And so this bullish pattern is complete. We aren't bullish anymore now. And then especially even more so now that we see the bearish butterfly form. So what happens here? We do see some other crosses, but price is consolidating. We're not really, we're definitely not taking this sell with this cross because we haven't finished. We're still bullish until price gets here, remember? But now that's completed, and now we have a bearish butterfly. So now we are bearish, looking for price to go to the downside. And then right here, actually it was this candle. This candle is where they cross. We then see it break below the zone. And I don't typically like to use the logic day trading as my entry zone. However, you will see the overall zone be very powerful and, offer a lot of sensitivity to push price one way or the other. But you can see the MAs are crossing inside the zone right as the harmonic pattern has formed. And so that's just some confirmation for price to continue to the downside, which we see. Bearish butterfly, it doesn't quite get to its final destination, but it definitely gets past this leg by quite a bit, and even past the 50% mark of the last leg. So took out this low and this low. So still a great trade here on the bearish side. And so right as that happens, we then have another harmonic pattern, a bullish cipher form. What do we see here? Mark out where the MAs cross, the moving averages cross right here. And that is right after this breaks above it, dips right back into the logic day trading zone after the buy signal, and then a strong up move. And then we do actually see it retrace back into it, and then another push higher. So correlating with our bullish bias with the harmonic pattern telling us to look for buys, we then soon after see the logic day trading give a buy signal right as the moving averages are crossing. So telling us that price has, these confirmations lining up to make a run higher, which we see it does. This one does not quite get here. However, it easily gets to the halfway point of the overall leg. You see here the 50% mark runs right above it. So then we see retracement back down. And the same thing, we now have this bullish shark pattern. So what are some ways we can look for, confirmation more to the upside? Again, not necessarily entry patterns or entry techniques, just confirmations to interpret price action for the upside. Well, once the shark pattern has formed, move this over. The MAs have crossed right as the logic day trading indicator gives us a buy zone. Price breaks above it, retraces back into the zone. Just eyeballing it, looks like it would be a great fib retracement, which it is. Just wicks below the 70.5 and then continues up. This one is the most ideal scenario. We see the shark pattern, logic day trading, moving averages cross, fib retracement, and then a strong push up, taking out these highs, and of course, eventually taking out this high. Although this pattern here, the shark pattern, is the one we're referencing our take profits on for this move. So here we are again now, bearish. Can't quite see what that is. Bearish crab has formed. Right as it's formed, we have the logic day trading giving us a sell zone. Right as it breaks below it, the moving averages have crossed to the downside. Retracement back up to the bottom of the zone and then moves away. Of course, this one does not complete the pattern either, but still on the daily time frame, refining your entries, still a great trade. Takes out this low, eyeballing it easily takes out the 50% mark of this leg up. So still a great move to be had right here with this, down move. Again, the confirmations, not looking for entries with this, just interpreting the price action. Do we think, it can push lower, or is this just going to, not work out at all? Sometimes the harmonic patterns don't work out at all. They may come just into this zone here without ever taking out the most recent low and just fly up. But using these confirmations, we can easily expect some more push lower. And so that was it for the UCAD pair. And I wanted to bring up another example here with the British pound, Canadian dollar. And this is even just on the lower time frame, that this can work on different time frames. Again, it's just interpreting some price action. I have the 1 hour here, but this is just confirming if price is going to continue with its current momentum. So we see here, and actually I changed it to the easy wolf wave indicator for this example, and you can use the same logic, the same concept on these as well, with the wolf wave patterns. We've got a bullish wolf wave pattern form. Right as it forms, the logic day trading indicator has a buy zone. And then where do the moving averages cross? They cross right here. So right as price is retracing back into the zone, and then this next candle a little bit deeper into it. And so when we see that, what can we expect? We can expect some more upside movement. We are not, after we see all these things line up, we are not expecting price to tank and create another lower low just yet. We're expecting it to create some new higher highs. Now, this one eventually, after a lot of consolidation, does eventually take out this high. So it right here. So it does complete the pattern. Not super clean, not, as quickly as I would have preferred. Usually I like to see just a 1 or 2 strong impulse legs up to take out the most recent high. But eventually this does complete the pattern here. So just using these simple things, and again, lower time frames will give much better entries, with tighter stop losses. But using these on mostly the higher time frame, but even the lower time frames, seeing these confirmations play out together in sync and correlating together can help you determine where price is going to head, at least for its next 1 or 2 impulses. So here we see the one impulse, this strong leg up, was preceded by all of these confirmations, and the moving averages crossing. But then finally the second leg up, much later, did take it out. So anyway, that's just some ways I like to use these indicators. And when you see these, signs correlating together, can just help you, either stay in a trade or get out of a trade. That can be half the battle as far as, saving your mental capital, wondering, is price going to continue in my direction, or is it showing signs that it may reverse on me? And, these are just some tips and tricks I want to share of, ways to interpret price action that way. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, and until next time, best of luck trading.